they commented about it quite a bit. So um, here's my working with audio and video file or folder, and I'll just put it in there. I might make a folder for this later on. I usually don't have to deal with any kind of stuff like this. But what I basically was saying was I set up the thumbnail. I went in here, set it as technology. They even have a secondary for it. So let me see if I can do Blender. Yeah, Blender's not in their categories, which is kind of sad. But anyhow, I went in and I set it up to where it'll also stream to these platforms as well from Rumble Studios. And now we have the option to use an encoder, which is basically OBS, which is this. So that's what it is. Now I'm recording this, but at the same time, I can hit start stream, like I said, and it will fail first, which I did on purpose. Then I come down here to Rumble. I hit start, and bam, this is what it does right here. So I turn around and I do that, and I hit start stream, and it is good to go. Now this is all that I see when it comes to using the RTMP. Now I come in here and I check with Blender. This is how I test everything to find out how it's going, because I want to make sure the audio works as well as the video, you know what I mean? It says that it's streaming. I don't know for sure if it is. So when I do TMP, now I come in here, there you go, and I check. It's working on X. It just hasn't kicked in on Rumble yet. So TMP. Now I come in here. Okay, so we got it all going. Now, one thing I do want to find out is it showing all the stuff that I freaking put my mouse on? Because I'm having issues with Blender where it's not showing the drop downs and stuff like that, and kind of freaking out about that. But yeah, this is basically it. I'm gonna stop the recording now since I don't have to. Okay, so that is basically the gist of all of it. I can actually go ahead and get on with the rest of it. I finally was able to get YouTube straightened out with the Rumble Studios. I had an issue with it here because the thumbnail wasn't to the right size, but I got it straight. We got all of the channels going. I do not know how go ahead and I do not know how well it is working. I know that the first time I tried it, it wasn't very basic. But it looks like everything is up and running smooth. I know that the first time I tried it, it wasn't very basic. And we we have everything up and running and going perfectly smooth with an RTMP, which means it's OBS. Tried it, it wasn't. And you can do it. Also, besides Jaffe, you know, Mark Wojcicki was talking about he didn't want to use a browser-based setup. So I thought maybe this would be a better way of kind of bringing that out and let people know that you can use your OBS with Rumble Studios now. I was hoping that everything was straightened out because the first time I tried it, it didn't really work out all that great. So that kind of sent things into a little bit of a loop. Now, that isn't really the intentions of why I'm doing this, to be honest with you, though. I'm actually getting into my editing, and I wanted to get this started and kind of go through some video editing, and what uh what you can do with Blender. You know what I mean? A lot of people will know that you can do computer graphics and things of that nature, but they're not aware that you can actually use this for video editing too if you want to set up some pretty cool stuff. And for me, this was actually pretty cool because this is where me and Rapid started working together on doing templates for video games, and this actually is pretty useful when it comes to that. So just figured I would show some of my uh, or I could show you how I do some of it. You know what I mean? Kind of let you guys know. So well, actually, I need to crop it. Now, over here is my video, just so you guys know. This is the template that I have, which is this area right here. You see it in the white highlight. You put that in by going to add right up here, and you can do images, sound, or movies. These are three very important things for you to know when it comes to using the edits. But the best way to do it is add, or the easiest way to do it visually is hit add, come down to movie, sound, or image. Okay. Um, this is an image, and so is this. This white highlighted area down here is a image, and all I did is I came in here and I hit image. Uh, Now right here you have filter files. You can untap that, and this right here shows it in display mode, which is files as vertical list. Or I can just do it like this, where it's actually thumbnails. So I have a thumbnail, and I can come up here, select any of these, and they will go onto here. Then, like right here where my this right here is, this right here, I forgot what they call this, the cursor kind of like, but this right here is where that image will appear. So if I turn around and hit shift and then arrow space back, go to 1, and then I do it, it will start here. But instead what I did is I highlighted the introduction to my video, which you can see the white outline right here up on top, and then I grabbed this by right clicking on this blue thing and moving it forward, and then I let go of the right click and I do the right directional arrow or the left directional arrow until that highlight disappears. See, it disappears, then it reappears. I want it to where it's disappeared just after, and then I turn around and I come over here to add, and I add image, and it will pop in right there. And I did that for both this and this, the dungeon background and the template. Then what I did is I took the video and I put it on top of those. Usually whenever you do these things, you have to be on strip first of all and have this as alpha over. These are usually alpha under. Um, these days, it's hard for me to tell if any of that really ever actually works, but that's how it's supposed to be done now. It's just um, sometimes, you know what I mean? It's really weird how that works. But over here on the far right, you'll see these tabs. This says strip. This says tool, modifiers, cache, and then you have proxies. Now, strip is usually the one that I use the most when it comes to video editing, and that's for scaling. I do scaling with this, and I also do cropping as well. I usually don't do transform, or not transform, but rotation or origin or mirror or anything. But one thing that I do is reverse frames. That does help. Now the strobe I don't ever use. I used to use this back whenever I used the older versions of Blender, but now it's gotten so complicated with that system because, well, the best way for me to do is come over here to add, and it says effect strips, and it has speed control. See, speed control is pretty cool because, like, say if you need to switch from like 60 frames per second to 30 frames per second, and the video doesn't match with the audio, which will usually happen because the video won't switch, or the audio won't change, won't change the frame rates, but the video will. So you have to stretch the video out, and then you have to put a speed control with the effect strip, and that will regulate the speed of the video according to the audio, so that you'll have that. Now, I don't need that right now, but I just wanted to show it to you because that's what this is good for once you get really good with it. And it's been so long, I probably couldn't even remind you or remember how to do it, to be honest with you. I remember finding a few old videos on YouTube, and I started doing it, and it actually was helpful for a little while, but it's been a while. But yeah, that's basically the deal with that. And right here, like I was saying, I was gonna scale, but then I remembered I needed to crop this out. So what I do is I come down here to crop, and it says left, right, top, and bottom. I am going to crop the left by moving or clicking down on my right, or no, my left mouse, or right, or left click on the mouse, and then just moving my mouse right. Then over here, or for the right, I do the same thing. I right or left click on the mouse, and then I move my mouse to the right, physically move it to the right. I just scale it up. So I got that cropped. I want to center that, so I go to position, and I do position X until I usually just worry about the way it looks from eye, you know what I mean? You can try to be all specific if you want, but that's a pain in the butt. I usually do try to keep it at like a right number, like that's 315, it's cool, but this is 54 pixels, whatever. I just make it 55, you know, just that way it's even. And then down here on scale, I go to scale X, and I just scale it out. I can right click on that and move right. If it gets too close, all I have to do is go to this arrow, click on it once, click on it twice, and bam, you know. Now I see that I have to crop a little bit more on the right hand side. So I come back here and I hit that little arrow until it's gone. See? Perfect. Now to make sure that that's right, what I do is I can come over here and click on this part of the strip where it disappears and that white isn't there anymore. That way I can get a better idea of what's going on. And, to be honest, I probably need to scale that out and move it just a little bit more. Kind of center it and then scale. No, that's not going to work. That's about as good as it's going to get. So after I scaled it on the X, I come to the Y. This is where I start adjusting it on the Y-axis. Bring it down to where it looks level, and then keep doing it back and forth from position to scale until it looks good, you know. Take and come over down here on the strip, click on it, that way you can see the edges. And voila, good, got it going. Now I hope that you can actually see the mouse and see the drop down options and stuff like that, but this is basically where all of this comes from. I can add in a scene, which maybe later I'll do, but I just wanted to focus on the actual video editing, you know. This is a movie. This is where you pull up the videos and you put them down inside there. I probably should have done it from that point and then moved on forward, but this is basically the middle wheel on the mouse. I can scroll in and out with it. Down here at the bottom you have this little bar that you can use to kind of center everything, work with the middle wheel and the bar down at the bottom. So, and then if you hold down on the middle wheel, the wheel on the mouse, if you hold down on it, you can just grab it and move it wherever you want to here. So these are the basic functions here when it comes to video editing. And I also want to make it clear the reason why I'm doing this. There's another reason too, because I went through on YouTube and I noticed that there aren't too many people who are actually doing video edits, videos on YouTube anymore, which is a shame because I did get a lot of good advice and a lot of good tips from YouTube when it came to video editing with Blender, and I thought that this is probably something that I needed to do. It's very simple. It's probably the best way to edit your videos, to be honest, and using an encoder like OBS is cool, but when it comes to quality, it really doesn't fill the bill, you know what I'm saying? So that's something to take into consideration. Something else I wanted to find out here is what do we have here for options? I haven't had enough time to really check through all that myself, so I want to know that. And let me see. That's something to, yeah, we got actual, everything's working when it comes to. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mute out, put some music in here for you guys to listen to, and I will be back here in a minute because I want to go and see what I've got here. I think I had Mr. Robot's video songs on here too, but I can just go ahead and put good stuff on here and let it go. Let me see. I don't want to do something that I know I've been doing over and over again, so let me see what I can pull up. And I have been trying to work on the background, or the background in my audio as well. So if you guys have heard anything that's that is my background there, let me know. So I'm gonna do one that's I haven't done in a while. I'm gonna put the Fizzler on. Back. Okay, so here we go.
Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Thrust 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Thrust 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles. Mr. Robot rolled around a rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around a rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Mr. Robot rolled round. Mr. Robot rolled round. And if Mr. Robot rolled a rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around a rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Here is an exercise demonstrating the union of in at the end of words. Dividing and gliding and sliding and falling and brawling and sprawling and driving and driving and striving. Dividing and gliding and sliding and falling and brawling and sprawling and driving and driving and driving. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Plus 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Plus 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles. Mr. Robot rolled around a rolled round, and if Diaphilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Thrust 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Thrust 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles. Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Mr. Robot rolled round. Mr. Robot rolled round. And if Mr. Robot rolled and rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Here is an exercise demonstrating the union of in at the end of words. Dividing and gliding and sliding and falling and brawling and sprawling and driving and driving and striving. Dividing and gliding and sliding and falling and brawling and sprawling and driving and driving and driving. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Plus 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. Plus 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. Plus 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Plus 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles. Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Mr. Robot Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Hardly had his Hail Highness heard the easy hedgehog when he hit the humming bee by the hunter who had horrible beetles in the human hall. I love to hear the horse's hard iron hooves go hammer, 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 hammer on the easy highway. I hit my horse hard. I'm hurrying around to hunt up hogs. Theophilus Thistler. Theophilus Thistler. Theophilus Thistler. Theophilus Thistler. Theophilus Thistler. Theophilus Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter, is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Plus 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. Theophilus Thistler, thistle sifter. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter, is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Plus 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter, is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Plus 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles. Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is thumb? 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter, is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Plus 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles. Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, and
Back.
if Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr.
this out.
Through the thick of his thumb.
Alright, so now I am going to get back into the project. I had to go get me some coffee. What this is this is a game that I've been working on with Rapid Glitch from Nostalgia Gaming Retro for well over 2 years now. Well, this is the second year. I've been working on the Elder Scrolls Arena, trying to get through it. Not only get through it, but then edit it afterwards. And right now I'm on the Crystal Tower editing it and getting it set up with a template. I've set up the basics at the beginning. I have a thing where an introduction where I discuss the dungeon, and basically it comes out like this. This is how it's starting so far. Now, having slowdowns on my computer, so give me a second. Let it stop, and then it should straighten out. Little hiccup. Alright, so the next dungeon that I'm going to be doing is the Crystal Tower. I have to do a little commentary on this. Right there, that's something I do want to point out. Now, coming out of this strip right here, the introduction, it's important to make sure that this blends well. I made sure that it went to complete blackness. If you notice, I'm gonna do the direction button to the right until it goes on to the video. You'll see the highlight. I want to make sure that that is completely black when I do it. Now that's very important when you go into editing and stuff, and you want to do transitions. The best places to look for is the black spots in the video where things go black, and then if you want to put something else in that doesn't necessarily go in that time frame or something different, to make a good transition, you always find those spots. And when you're looking for videos, when you're looking for a good place to edit and put something in, you want to find something that regularly happens. Like on games, they have like stats or something, or a writing that'll appear whenever you die, and it starts over again. It's always the same thing. You know what I mean? You want to make sure that you go back to where that begins, and it put that in there, if that makes sense to you. that's one thing I do like about gaming is I've learned so much about editing through editing games than any other type of streaming or anything of that nature. You know, it's really helped me out a lot when it comes to my editing. But all right, so it just makes for a better transition, and I don't really want to overdo my transitions, you know. So this is what I do right here. I come here to this part, which is remember that, and I hope you guys do good. Give me some feedback on your progress if you guys want to. I'd love to hear it. That audio, that's the reason why I came into my OBS. There's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I finally got it done now. When it comes to your mic, right down here on your mic, you have filters. You can go in here. You can set up a noise suppressor. Now, I've tried the Speaks or SPEEX, which is supposed to be low CPO usage, but the area behind me, if you notice with this video, it has a lot of issues when it comes to noise. You can crystal tap. You can hear that background, the crystal is coming in there. And what I had to do finally is buckle down and come in here and learn these filters. Now they're hard to understand, or they were at one time, but I did find out that the RNN noise, it does take more CPU usage, but it actually does do a good job. I just now put the 3-band equalizer in, and maybe here in a little bit I'll go over that and try to do a little bit better when it comes to the highs, mids, and the lows on this, and try to get my audio straightened out. And it's important to bring that up because this isn't just about audio or video when it comes to my channel. This is working with audio and video, so I wanted to bring that up and say that that is what I have been working on. If you guys notice anything that's not right, if the background is still coming through, let me know, because I really am trying my best to get my audio better on these streams. That I'm kind of stuck in a spot where I can't avoid noise being around me, you know what I mean? So I have to really work hard on it. Seems like I have to work harder on it than what most people usually do. So I wanted to take a pause and mention that because of the audio, and there's no way of getting it out that I could tell when it comes to Blender. Like you can't change anything when it comes to taking care of the sound equalizer. I've never tried that. Let me see what that does. Power dominates the area, rising like an accusatory finger pointing at the sky above. This bastion of secrecy seemingly transcends normal human conceptions, existing in many planes other than this. You can sense the 5th piece of the staff of chaos somewhere above, and now we are going for the 5th piece of the chaos staff. That is right. This is the
Crystal Tower,
Actually,
which I am also going to save as the Crystal Tower. Crystal Tower. And I am probably messing this up. No, I actually spelled it. No, I don't think so. No, I believe I have.
pretty interesting.
No, crystals with a C. Whatever, dude.
I'll
Whatever.
check that out later. I've never noticed that before.
You suck. Okay, so.
And I'll be right.
Going for the fifth piece.
Yeah, that's kind of weird how I did that.
Going for the fifth.
I'm gonna have to get that beep. That's from the game itself, because you gotta remember this is an old game. There's noises that are gonna pop in there. Now, what I did there is I angled it up, like I said, to the black, okay? And then whenever I adjust it, I use my left and right directional key. That's when the light comes on, or when the video pops back in. That's when it's out. And if you notice, it's highlighted, okay? Since this down here is yellow, this is yellow. Now, if I just go here, it'll switch to white, and this is white. But what I want is I want both of them highlighted, because if I don't, then I'll delete just the video, which is the blue, or just the audio, which is the green. So I want both of them cut out at the same time. All right. Now, for me to play the video, I hit the freaking oh my God, I can't believe I'm having a brain fart here. I hit the button, or the
Fifth.
I hit the my goodness, what the heck is wrong with my mind? I hit the bottom button to where it's big and it's fat. Oh my God. That is just horrible. Okay. So
The fifth.
now what I need to do is, I messed up here. Now undo, like I said before, is Control and Z. You hit undo and it just undoes what you've done previously, okay? And you'll see all of it's going back. This is something I emphasize for everybody, okay? Undo is the best freaking tool they've ever invented when it comes to Blender. So, what I do now is I have to make a cut, okay? Now, if my mouse is on the right side of this blue thing, okay, it'll make these highlighted. If I have it on the left side, it'll make these highlighted. So when I want to make a cut, all I do is hit K. And if you notice, since my mouse is on the left side is highlighted. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit Control and Z, and it's going to undo that. So when I come over here and I put the mouse on the right side, and then I hit K, these two strips are highlighted. Okay? Now that is important because I want to cut that sound out. So what I do is I hit freaking my button again. It's gone. I have my mouse now on the left hand side, where before I had it on the right. I have it on the left. I come in here and I hit K, and this little bit is still highlighted there. Now I want that to go away, so what I do is I hit X with my finger, and bam, there it is. Now, I can tell you that this right here is important. It's use snapping, snap strips during transform. Now, this is important, but I go according to a lot of what the old schoolers in Blender do. Now, this will snap everything together, all right? But I do things a different way here. Now what I do is I go back here again and I highlight this, all right? Now if I wanted to, all I'd have to do is hit G and go here, and it'll automatically clip it together, all right? But I'm in the habit of hitting G, then I hit X to create that little purplish line that runs from left to right down on the strip, and then I run it over the strip that I have there, and I do that because what happens is it bounces back to the end of the strip automatically. So they used to do that before, whenever Blender wasn't really all that precise, you know what I mean? And I've just been doing it ever since I first learned about it, and it's a habit. But that is what this snapping is supposed to be for. Now, if you don't want snapping, all right, what that does is this. You can move it with your left and right direction button, and you can take it where you want it. You can literally just kind of scoot it around. You can do that up and down is what that does. I hit the up, and it just kind of scrolled everything up. But this actually is it's a good tool, because like right there, it just snapped. See that? Bam. And it's not that big of a deal, you know what I mean? In today's version of Blender, it's not that big of a deal, but at one time, that's the way everybody had to do it, and I've just made it into a habit. The fifth piece of the Chaos staff. That is right. This is the Crystal Tower, which I am also. The thing I want to talk about is down here. You see these? These are display waves. Over here on the right hand side, I have it checked. Okay? If it was unchecked, they wouldn't be there. But since that right there is checked, then you can see the sound waves. Now, sound waves are very important. On my OBS, you see this right here. This is very important too. Now, this is what you have to rely on, not on your voice. So when it comes to doing any kind of audio and visual stuff on streaming, you need to learn how to trust your eyes and what you're seeing there, okay? Now, this is me just barely making it into the yellow. A lot of people think that that's not good to have it into the yellow, but I was taught to actually have it into the yellow, maybe at that barrier where it just hits the red. Now, usually that's where it's at, but since I've been doing a lot of stuff concerning audio today, it's probably the reason why it's down so low. That's also the reason why I always go into the stream and I listen to see what the volume in the audio sounds like. It just hits the Now, that could be deceiving for me too, because the reason why I say that is because I use headphones, and there's a big difference between using headphones and speakers. So what I'm hearing may not be loud enough for somebody who's using speakers to listen to something. So um, usually I make sure that my voice goes up into the yellow, and that's something that I don't know if it's really important, but that's important. And getting back to what I'm talking about is you have to learn how to trust your eyes. Don't go off of audio. Okay, when it comes to these gauges, these are the things that you have to rely on. Rely on this and rely on this. Okay. Now, this actually tells me that I do have to have it higher. So what I am going to do is I'm going to come to these three little dots here. I'm going to hit advanced audio properties. And then over here where it says mic aux, I'm going to bring it up to about 16. Now, as I'm talking, I will watch that bar, you see, and it goes up. So I turn around and I make sure that it doesn't go too far up. I want it to stay right there in the yellow where it's supposed to be whenever I talk. And you know, it doesn't always have to go up near the red right here. As long as it's in the yellow, that's what's important. So after I do that, I come in here, I go to my video, and it goes up. See, I'm testing it out, and everything's working out perfectly fine. So, okay, I've got me another freaking spammer, or whatever you want to call them, scammer. So right there on Twitch, just getting them left and right. Let's see. Power up your stream with DogeHype.com. Freaking, guess what, buddy? We don't need your help. Yeah, that's the beauty of alt platforms right there, but you know, I use them, but be aware that's what you get. That's the majority of what you get. So here we go. But that's the reason why I keep these up, so that I can power up. That's why I keep it up, so that I can actually keep progress of my audio and be able to listen to it, make sure that it's because it's important not only to hear it on your recordings, like if you want to do a sound test on your computer, that's fine, but you have to understand that doesn't apply to when you're live streaming on the internet. Okay, you need to make sure that your platforms are actually hearing you. Here we go, you see. So just a little word of advice, and you don't have to start your stream straight off. You can just, I just do the sound test while I'm streaming, but I don't have to. I can make it private until I'm ready, and then when I get ready to start, I just hit stream to do it. So you can do it that way if you feel that way. So that's actually good that I brought that up. Actually, it's something that I need to do. Now let me just get on with this. Now we are going for the fifth piece of the Chaos staff. That is right. This is the Crystal Tower, which I am also going to save as Now right here, I'm kind of wondering if I want to keep that because I don't really like people seeing my saves, and I don't really like that. It just seems to me that people get annoyed by it, you know. So now right here, this is something that's important I can show you. Now I want to pull that map picture, okay? Now what I used to do is I used to just hit F11, and with F11 a Blender render pops up, and the Blender render has everything here. Now, I used to just come here to image, and I used to say save as, and it would pop up here. I could take it to my videos, unedited videos, 24/7 streams, gaming with Infamous, and go to retro, Elder Scrolls Arena. Now this is the reason why I always keep it in vertical list mode, is because they get kind of hectic there. Now that is the map picks. So I have stat picks and map picks. Now what I used to do is I used to just come in here, I'd scroll down to the bottom, and right here I'd say Elder Scrolls area map. Well, actually no, I don't have to scroll. I had it set up to where the last one was right up here, and how you do that is right up here where it says name. You click on it and it flips it. So I have Elder Scroll Arena character profile 22 at the top there, and then I have Elder Scrolls area map, and then Area Scrolls area map 1, and then down. If I click name, it flips. So now I have map 252, which that's how I used to do it. But, and I know this doesn't apply for people who are using Linux. This applies to people who are, the way I'm about to show you is the way for people who are using Windows 10 and 11. This is how I do it now. I just go to the keyboard, and I do the print screen option, which is just above home, I think it is, the home button. Well, it's above, it's just above the freaking backspace button. I believe it is. Yeah, it's just above it. It's right next to the F12 button, and I click on it. Now, that gives me the option of saving this right here up on top. Okay, now it's a snip, and then I have a recording, and then over here I have a drop down option. Now the rectangle is the one I use. You can also do window or full screen, which will record all or capture all of it. All I want to do is the rectangle, so that I can pick inside of the screen what it is that I want to save. So I come here and I square this off, and as soon as I square this off, it goes into my screen share. Now with that, I come here. I have to be careful with this because I have now what I do there is it goes to my screenshots, and with my screenshots I just go in and I capture the screenshots. Now let me go ahead and do that real quick. I don't know if I have appropriate videos or pictures in there for you guys to look at, to be honest. I might have dirty pictures, so that's just the best way to say it. They're horrible. Nope, they're all appropriate. So I get a little confused, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so right here in my screenshots is where I'm at. And down here at the bottom is where that popped in. What I do is I come up here in my Elder Scrolls Arena file. Let me figure out where. Oh, it's in this one. Now I go to my map picks. I scroll down, and right here where it says Elder Scrolls Arena Map 252, I just right click on it, and then in this option it says rename. I go hit rename and it highlights. I right click again, come up here, hit copy. After that, I go here to screenshots. I right click here, it says rename. Then I hit paste. Right click and hit paste. Now right where it says 252, I changed the 2 at the end to 253. After that, I right click again. I hit cut. Cut it from here, go to map picks, and bam, hit paste. There it is. So now I have a map. That doesn't include all of this. It's just the map. So I come in here, and what I do here is I use the right directional button and I just push it until it comes to the end of where that map gets closed. So I go for the black spot. Everything's completely black. I go up to add. I can do that, or another thing you can do is Shift A. I hit Shift A or hit add right here, and then go to image sequence. Go to map picks, and 253 is right there. So bam. Now I have that up above. Now, this is the trick, okay? Right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to hit H so that I can hide it and show you guys what I need to do here. So, I hit H, the map is hidden. Now, right up here is where I put the map and I put my stats. So, I'm going to take and put my that picture that I just had down here where the dungeon is, right underneath this area. So this is how I do it. Now to pull that picture back out of hidden mode, I hit Alt and then H at the same time, and it just brings it back up. So I need to scale that picture down to where it fits into here. Now I know 0.4 is usually the one that works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this Y axis for scale down here on the right hand side, and I'm going to type in 0.4. That scales it down there, and then now on the X axis I'm going to do it again, 0.4. Bam. Okay, so now I may have to make that smaller, but I'm not for sure on it. Let me double check. There's a good chance I do, because I need to also have my my stats on there. Now I can drop this down to 0.3 and 0.3. And just to let you know, you can do it that way, but like in situations like this, you have to worry about your workflow and how fast and how slow it takes to do things. So learning this and how to just type the information in is very important. like right here too, if you want to animate a property or anything of that nature. That's something that's very useful as well. That's more useful, though these little dots on the side are more useful for computer graphics and things of that nature in my experience. But they can be used here too. Now what I do is I come here, and like I said, I want to make it like at least 275, see if that works. And right here, 725 maybe. Yeah, that's fine. Now that gives me space for my stats. Actually, I could probably pull 0.2. Yeah. And then bring it over and up like so. That might be a little bit too small. So what I can do is 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, and voila, and then just adjust it to where it looks nice. Now I know that sounds pretty weird or pretty tedious, but it's not. After you get used to the routine, it becomes just really, really easy to figure out and stuff. And it becomes a repetition. You get really good at it, and you start doing it faster. I'm going to do this. And now what happens here is when this is a new feature they put in Blender, okay? Now when you get to the edge, you'll see that the mouse changes to that design. Now if I right click on that, I can just move this around and move this around. Now before they implemented that, I had to come in and I had to hit G, okay? Or right here, click on it to where that end is well, like right here, it's just regularly highlighted. If I click there, it gets a little darker at the end. If I hit G and then X, then I can do the same thing, okay? Grab for G and then X for the direction, which is left and right. Now if I hit right click, it goes back to the same, but it stays highlighted like that. I don't want that. So I turn around and I'll right click it now, and I can do the same thing. And I don't have to do all that. So that's how that works. Man. Which I am also going to save. I don't really want to show. Well, I guess I could save as the Crystal Tower. Crystal Tower, and I am probably messing this up. No, I actually spelled it. No, I don't think so. No, I believe I have. Yeah, see, that's just a bunch of nonsense. I shouldn't even worried about it. So what I do here is I come back and I edit it out. I don't think so. Because see, I have the Crystal Tower right there. Messing this up. And I just Crystal Tower as the Crystal Tower. What I do is I come to that point right there, and I just hit X or an OK. Let it play through, and then I grab this right here and I can move it along faster. Now I probably
this up. I don't think so.
So right here, okay, I got this area up here. So I turn around and I hit K and X. X deletes it. Then I come in here and I take and hold down on the left key or the left mouse button, and I push across here to create this box here. I do it across these two strips and bam, they're highlighted. After that I hit G, X, and I bring it over. And now I come back and I compare this. Because I want it to look good, so.
No, I believe I have.
Actually,
The Crystal Tower.
yeah. Yeah, I don't even think I fixed it, to be honest with you. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, see, I don't even think I fixed it. Ah, yeah, I did actually. Yeah, so right here, that is where I want to delete from. I hit freaking K with and then X, delete it, run the mouse across with the left thing, the left button held down, and it highlights both of those. I hit G, then I hit X, and then I bring it across. And I just keep doing it until it looks decent.
With a C. What? With a C. Whatever, dude. Crystal Tower. With a C. Whatever, dude. Whatever. You suck. Okay, so we come in here.
So there, I've got that done. And yeah, that's how it's done. Kicking butt, getting things taken care of. Let me see how much time I've put on this stream. I've got an hour and a half, dude. That's pretty good. So let me see what's going on here. See if anybody's actually watching or cares. I ended up banning Orphan Blard. I ended up blocking somebody off of Rumble, and I'm gonna ban him too because I don't like people spamming me. But yeah, I've got it all going there. So that is basically the rundown for now. I don't want to give away too much on the game and how I'm doing it. I just wanted to kind of go through and let you guys see a little bit of the editing and everything. Besides that, I need to do some editing myself or do a stream today. So this is something that I really wanted to get into, and I really want to focus on Blender and video editing and things like that for working with audio and video. I've been doing a lot of other stuff, and I haven't really had time to get this going. I also wanted to point out the fact that Rumble Studios has finally allowed everybody to connect to RTPM streams using an add-on. I've tested it one time before already. and it didn't work out great with audio. But this time it does seem to be doing the job. So for anybody who's on Rumble and is wanting to um, use OBS rather than going in and using Rumble Studios, go over there and check it out. It's actually working out pretty good this time. So, and the stream key stays the same from what I'm seeing. Okay, I don't know how I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if it stays the same, but I can go back and try it again later on and give it a shot, see what happens. Now down here it's showing the resolution, the bit rate, frame rate, and the packet loss, which is on OBS that would be your frames dropped, which that never happens for me. So and like here, it would show it here if I was streaming through just regular OBS, but I'm doing it through multiple outlets. So it's showing me the frames per second, the millibytes per second, and the time that I've streamed. So big things that I've been working with here. Rumble Studios started with using the RTMPs. Also, multiple outlet. You can get that on the internet for free, which will make it to where this isn't necessary, streaming to other platforms. I've mentioned that to the same people who I'm mentioning this to, and they just seem utterly uninterested by it. But for me, I'm cheap, okay? I don't like paying for something if I don't have to. And everything that I have done when it comes to streaming and all that is just simple. It's simple, and it's usually free or it's cheap, one of the two. And those are the two things that have actually been really mind-blowing for me, this multiple output. And plus, if you want to make vertical videos, they also have the option to use vertical as well. So later on, I can probably pull something up to where you guys can see that. Now, after that, I also went in and I showed you guys about Blender. And Blender video editing is what I do want to put more videos up about, to kind of show you guys how to use the video editing option, because like I said, not too many people are doing it anymore. I've done searches on YouTube, and I've found Blender tutorials where it shows video editing from way back in like 3-4 years ago, maybe 5. And if you guys have been around Blender long enough, you know as well as I do, that's outdated. They're doing a lot of new changes. It's taken on a different life of its own. So if you haven't been on Blender for a while, you'll probably have to go in there and relearn it all over again. Let me put it to you that way. So with that, man, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, share, make comments, give some feedback. Let me know what you think about the stuff I've discussed here. Things of that nature. If you want to watch any of my videos, you can see them on Rumble, X, Twitter, Tik, DLive, YouTube, and maybe a couple of others that I may have forgotten. You can find me on working with audio and video on both Rumble and YouTube. On X, you will find me on my regular video or my channel account. It's Roger Hanson at ROGLOL1973. On Twitch, I am Infamous 1969. Yes, Infamous 1969. He's a bad, bad man. Don't mess with him, dude. He's hardcore parkour. Now on Kick, I am Roger underscore Hanson, and I believe I'm Roger underscore Hanson on DLive as well. So you guys can check me out on there, and this is me on YouTube, working with audio and video at Working with Audio and Video. So with that being said, I am going to call it quits. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you have a good day. With that being said, I am going to shut up.